Whose what I eat in a day is the worst.
It's definitely mine anyway, so it's mine.
Okay, hello everyone. I am eating today Siggy's. You know, Siggy's.
Ooh.
It's
You have the
Icelandic
best
yogurt.
healthy snacks,
I don't.
but like
I
most
know
delicious.
my little hacks here, but it's basically just like vanilla yogurt with a bunch of frozen raspberries.
Ooh.
And so like what ends up happening is like it starts like freezing and it
Wow.
turns into like kind of a frozen yogurt vibe / 21 Choices. Shout out
Frozen
21
yogurt.
Sounds amazing.
Choices.
Oh my God, 21
Oh.
choices.
So good. I'm missing chocolate, but it's okay. And then I'm drinking this tiny, cute little. Look at how cute this is.
Oh my
It's a tiny
gosh.
little tequila paloma. It's like
So
literally the size.
cute.
It's like smaller than my hand, but there's
Oh my
tequila
God.
and grapefruit and lime in it. So I'll
Ooh,
quickly open it. Oh, that wasn't as
nice.
satisfying.
But it's a little baby
Yeah, and
can.
then I'll pour it on here.
Oh, it's so cute.
Cute. Look at
Sound
that.
ice is so good.
It's like the tiniest amount, but it is what it is.
Okay, try it.
Okay.
I wanna
Are
hear
you
if it's
drinking
good.
one can?
I only have
Yeah.
one. I only have one.
Okay.
I am drinking giant hard kombucha again because I, got a 6-pack from Trader Joe's, so I'm gonna just work my way through. So that's
Nice.
that passion fruit elderflower flavor, and then for my snack, I have these like chocolate cookies, biscuits. They are
Mm.
kind of like digestives, but it's not as crumbly, the cracker part. But yeah, they're these like Greek cookies that a friend gave me. So I literally have no idea what they're called because everything is actually in Greek on the packaging. Yeah, nice little sweet little snack for me today.
Mm.
For me, I had stuff in the fridge left over from my friends who were staying here. So they were drinking High Noon vodka soda mango.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yep.
That was a big one, big boy.
This is really good. It's vodka with real fruit juice, sparkling water, and natural flavors. I actually really like this. No corn syrup and artificial flavors. And then what else do we have? We have some gherkins, pickled gherkins, and then
So
these
good.
rosemary. I think this is rosemary Marcona nuts. And then I went to the farmer's market this weekend and picked up
What?
what? Like rosemary,
Oh, what a
rosemary
what?
Marcona nuts, you know?
What's a Marcona nut?
It's kind of like an almond and like a macadamia nut.
Oh,
It's like an
okay.
almond and like a Brazil nut, like had
Had
a
a
baby
baby?
and then
Oh,
Super
okay.
tasty.
Okay,
And then we got some
cool.
tomatoes from the farmer's market. They're not as good as the ones in Korea, but we're not there anymore. So this is gonna, I have to just live off of these. That's what's going on in my.
Oh, these American tomatoes.
So, and it's like I paid a bunch for this, and I asked the farmer's market lady, like, "What's the sweetest tomatoes you have?" And she's like, "It's these, like these heirloom dark red tomatoes, like kind of bloody red. They're not as good." What are we talking about today? On that note, we are talking about food, all things food, our relationship to food, what we like to eat, things that can inspire your dull menus that you wait, what am I saying? Your dull routine, your dull meals and your routines. We're going to talk about all things food because we are lovers of food. So, if you're new to samcha, the way that we run each episode is that we have 3 rounds, 1차, 2차, and samcha. And in each round, we have a specific topic where we go deeper into whatever we're talking about on that day. So, today, since we're talking about food, we'll start with lighthearted questions around what we like to eat, and then we'll see where this goes. Shall we cheers?
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I will first start by asking, who do you think like eats the best meals every day? Like, who do you think eats the best every
Out of the
day?
3 of us?
I know who I think it is.
I also too.
I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah.
It's
Megan.
Megan.
Okay. I think I eat well every day. And then, but I do feel like Christine eats like the actual best every day. Do you know what
No,
I'm
I think
saying?
Christine doesn't eat the best every day, but then when she like does
Oh,
cook
when
and
she
like
goes,
goes
yeah,
into
yeah,
like
yeah.
a meal, she will like go all out. But then on a regular
Yes,
day,
there
she
it
just eats
is.
like chicken and rice.
There it is. And tomatoes and
Yeah.
eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a better
But then
explanation.
Megan is like the most consistently like eats bomb, but like fresh and simple things, but it like has the balance of like salty and acidic
Yeah.
and like starchy. And it's just like, oh, I'm so
She
jealous
has a
of Sean.
standard for a meal, and she hits that standard every meal. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Because food,
Whereas
guys, it's like our life, you know?
Hmm.
I know. But for me, like
Christina.
what I eat is like today I ate frozen hash brown for breakfast
Oh, I
from Trader
love
Joe's.
So
those.
Those
good.
are really good.
So good.
And then I ate it with like a little bit of hummus, and that was my way of being like, okay, I'll have like some protein in the morning. And then I had like a frozen bean and rice and corn burrito like for lunch.
Wow, this is so on brand.
Hmm.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, basically, and then I ate Chick-fil-A for dinner, that I had didn't heat up, but, like, um and that was, like, 15 minutes before we started recording because I was, like, lying in bed after my calls, and then I was like, "I need to eat something."
Like
So yeah,
shoving
so
Chick-fil-A.
that is my typical day where I'm like, "Oh, no, I have, like, 15 minutes now, I'm gonna microwave something and eat it real quick,"
Honestly, that
sadly.
But I
sounds
do
so delightful.
love, I
Mm.
know, but I do love when Christina cooks
Hmm.
and she like records it and she does like her little what I eat in a days, or like that one video, I swear I talk about it so much, but it's
Or,
the
like,
one where they're
chili?
making chili. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. I'm just like so obsessed with it. It's so like good, and I think also because weren't you in London? You were in
Mhm.
like the common
Well, there's, like,
area.
overlap. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that period of my life, before I went to London, I went mostly plant-based. So I was, like, eating
Mm.
mostly vegan, plant-based food, and then I went to London, and then I kept doing that because, I was trying to save money because I was a student, so I was mostly grocery shopping, and then I kind of had this, like, rule where if I was cooking, I would cook plant-based, but if I went out to eat, I would
Mm.
be more flexible.
Hmm.
So yes,
Oh,
I
that's a
mean,
good
that's
one.
why it's mostly just pasta, rice, beans, veggies, potatoes.
Mm.
Mm.
Those are my main food groups.
Mm.
Especially potatoes.
When you guys, I
Especially
know,
potatoes.
when you guys think about going to the supermarket, do you just like get fresh ingredients and then just like wing it? Or do you guys like plan out your week and then figure out what you're gonna eat from there? Because I have an inkling that like Christine is like a what is fresh right now, and then she like goes out and then like she brings it home and then she has one of those like Lauren Toyota like recipe moments, and then she like goes into her
Or
fridge.
like all the
Lauren
veggies
Toyota.
are about to go bad, so she throws them all into a tteokbokki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Remember?
The most amazing, like colorful, like maximalist tteokbokki that you could
Yeah.
find.
Yeah.
With pink eggs.
Linked in the description below.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I don't I definitely I go back and forth, but usually it's like I just buy what I need for the meal.
Hmm.
Mm.
Um, Especially because in New York, unless you're like getting your groceries delivered, it's just like a pain to get a lot of stuff at a time.
I feel like I want to be like the farmer's market gal and like go to the farmer's market and like get what's in season. And like I feel like I do that sometimes. Like I cater my meals like for what is like really good currently. But then usually it's like I will meal plan and then have a grocery list according to that meal plan and then like get those groceries, because like it pains me to throw food out or like throw rotten veggies or whatever out, so I just like try and plan
Yeah.
well so that then we end up eating everything in our fridge and then we start over
I
every
can
week.
see all of our personality types coming out in the ways that we plan for our meals, the way that we go grocery shopping. I think, like, for me, I definitely go to the farmer's market. It's like a very fun, like, hands on experience. So I go for like the experience and then check out what's in season, buy a bunch of stuff, and then try to make something out of it. But then usually it's like I'm rushing to like make something while it's fresh, but then unfortunately things go bad because I am only eating for myself right now. And then if I'm not at the farmer's market, then I'll like go and get my like everyday staples, which are like eggs and yogurt and certain fruits. And that's about it. And I usually like eat the same thing every day because I don't want to think about what to eat. And then when I'm like hosting people or if there's something like really compelling at the market, that's when like I get a little bit more creative. But otherwise it's like so
Yeah.
boring in terms of what I eat.
I feel like Megan eats something
Ugh,
different
yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
I am like I'll make a big batch of like kimchi jjigae or a big batch of chili, and I just like eat that for like 5 meals in a row.
I could do that with kimchi jjigae. I feel like
Mm.
with some things I'll do like maybe it'll be like 2 meals.
Mhm.
Where like a big pot of kimchi jjigae is like perfect because then you can have it for like the meal that you're making it and then like maybe one other meal.
Mhm.
But usually it's
Mhm.
like pretty different.
Do you have to bring in Dane and Sean into your meals or can you like do they let you run with it?
I
You mean like
usually,
planning wise?
Mhm.
yeah, like, oh, like what should we eat? Or like
Yeah.
when you're making the stuff, do you like consult each other or you just do it?
It's like this is like the kitchen is like mine. It's like my
Like, this is my domain.
you can yes, exactly. And Sean's like not picky at all, so I feel like it works out really well. He used to have like a lot of like stomach issues. I'm like putting freaking people on blast over here. He used to have like a lot of stomach issues, and so then I would be a little bit careful about like certain things. But he's like pretty good. So now, so he just eats everything that I make.
Nice.
Nice. What about Dane? Is he like, yeah, whatever food
Yeah.
is there, I'm happy to eat it? Or
I really don't cook that much, so it doesn't really matter.
Well,
We're like,
Dane's
what
the
should we go
picker
eat
upper of
today?
all the
Yeah.
food.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he picks up the food. Honestly, I love food. I think like the what's hard is like we will have the best intentions of getting groceries and like we'll have the groceries and then like we're like okay, we're going to make this and that like throughout the week.
Mhm.
And then it's like someone's like let's go get dinner and we're like yeah, like well, I'm not going to pass up fish cheeks like, you know. And then, you know how the rest of the story goes.
Yeah.
And then it's just iceberg lettuce in a salad
Yeah,
spinner
for
for
2
3
weeks
weeks.
and then frozen burritos for lunch. Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Oh,
I have
so
I
funny.
have another question for you guys for ear tab.
Yes.
What is something that you love to eat? Like what is a type of food that you love to eat? And what is like a food that you just cannot get yourself to eat?
Oh, mine is so easy.
Oh my god,
Go.
go.
Oh, well,
Oh,
I
well, I
love
know your favorite.
well, okay, potatoes are my favorite, but I love like just Mexican rice and beans, like refried beans and
Mm,
and
mhm.
fluffy Mexican rice, and then just like
So good.
cover it in salsa and hot sauce.
Mhm.
So I love
Mhm.
that. I do not like shellfish and like
Oh, that's
crustaceans,
Mm.
right.
you
That's
know.
right.
And also like uni. It's just like I feel like I'm just swallowing the ocean. Maybe it's from like going to the beach as a kid and like you get like you get tumbled around in the
Mhm.
waves and then like all the sand and salt goes in your mouth.
Mhm.
So it like reminds me
Yeah.
of that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my
I know
god.
it's a
Cheap
hot take
date.
because people love that
Can
stuff.
you eat
So yeah.
caviar? Fish
If it's like a
eggs?
small
Uh-huh.
amount, yeah. But
And they're less fishy, I feel.
yeah,
So,
it's more
well, the good
salty.
ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's yeah, it's different. Uni though I feel like is just like salt and sand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Ugh, uni.
I know you guys love uni.
So
So good. Megan, what
good.
about you?
Hmm. I would say so I really, really, really like the sour, spicy, like savory
Mhm.
profile, which is like I feel like Thai food is like
Mm-hmm.
very
Yeah.
it's all of those things. So like I just love to eat like Thai and anything that has like those flavors. Like I
Like a
like brightness.
lob salad or
Oh,
something.
yes,
Mm. Yeah.
exactly. With just like
Hmm.
extra lime, like so good.
Mhm.
And I do like a lot of like fresh veggies type stuff.
Yeah.
Like I like salads or like lab is perfect because like you do
Her mouth is watering.
the cabbage. I know my mouth is watering too, like the cabbage, and you do it, so that's really good. And then in terms of like anything that I don't think there's anything that I don't like to eat. I mean, there's things that I don't like to cook. Like I don't necessarily like to like deep fry things because then it's like I have a bunch of oil and like I don't want to like get rid of it, and
I know,
like
and you're like, you're not supposed to put it in
pour
the
it down.
sink. Yeah.
Like
Exactly. And it's
smoke.
like the smoke, the smell, like all of that stuff. So like if I'm gonna eat something like deep fried, that's like what I would go for if, you know, I was going out to eat. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that like I don't
Yeah, I can't think of
like.
anything that you don't like either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a
I don't
type
think
of liquor
so.
you don't like?
Nope.
You like them all?
Yeah, I
You're
think
like,
I
definitely
like
not.
yeah, I wouldn't even go into the liquor category because yeah, I'll think about it and I'll like throw it in
Okay.
as like a Easter egg in a different episode or something. But
We'll find
I'll come
out.
back to you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Christine?
I'll in terms of like things that I enjoy eating, things that get me really excited, it's like foods that are like well balanced in a sense where there's like a good sauce. There's like a well prepared
Mm.
protein. The vegetables are still fresh, but if they cooked it, it's like cooked perfectly. So like the articulation of like all of these little different components. Love like
Mm.
barbecue and like skewers because that's like an art in itself
Oh,
too.
Oh my God, there's this really good skewer
yeah.
cart in Lower Manhattan
Oh my
that
gosh.
we have to go to.
Does it have good
Okay, yeah,
char? Yeah,
sorry.
I'm like the
It's
char
so
has to
good.
be
It's
there
so
too.
juicy.
It
Oh
has
my
to be
God.
juicy and moist. So it's like
Oh
that kind of
my
stuff gets me like
God.
really, really excited. I also really like going to wine bars and then the like small plates that they have to accompany the wine
Oh,
menu. That sounds a little
Mm-hmm.
pretentious, but you can find like
yes.
down to earth, low key types
No.
of bar like wine bars that have like a good food menu that is paired with their wine. That gets me very excited at the moment. And then pretty much
Yes.
nothing else.
What? That's all you like?
That's like what gets me really, really excited. I'm
Oh,
like gravitating away from like the heavier, like stewy, maybe because it's summertime and I want like fresh things. Like I want to
Yeah,
taste
that makes
what's
sense.
in season. But right now I'm like gravitating away from like the casseroles and like the big meaty stews and things like that. So that's like what I like to eat, what I enjoy eating, things that I like to put in my mouth, and then things that I don't like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, what do I not like to eat? I don't like to eat, well, this is just like because I have an allergy, but like soy stuff, like soy based
Oh
foods,
yeah.
makes
Yeah,
me
yeah, yeah.
sad. But things like that, or like over stinky things, like I can't do over stinky types of foods that like really overwhelm like all of your senses, or like
Like too much fish
too
sauce.
much fish sauce, too, or like not even stinky, like too much hot sauce, too much of one thing. That's like,
Too much of
yeah,
one thing.
it goes back to like me being really excited about balance. And then like when something is
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm.
really taking over, we can't. I get really upset. I'm like, that's all I
Wait,
taste. Uh huh.
I thought of something that I really, really don't like,
What?
What?
which is when Christine said stinky. I can't do stinky tofu.
Mm.
Have
I
you
don't think I've ever
guys?
tried stinky tofu.
It is a trip. Like
And a
it is
national treasure.
intense.
But
I know. That's why I'm not trying to like offend anyone. Like Sean eats it, like Sean's parents, like Sean's dad, who's like the most
Irish.
Caucasian man you can ever imagine, like loves it. And we went
Oh.
to this night market in Taiwan and he was just like eating it. I like literally couldn't even say, I was like, oh my
Uh,
God. And usually that's like just not how I am at all, but
Yeah.
it's really hard. It's definitely like an acquired taste.
oh my goodness.
Oof. That's one that I like couldn't get behind. But I don't know, maybe I'll train
Yeah,
myself to like
people
it.
grow to
Yeah.
like certain foods that they couldn't eat before, like olives or like
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
sashimi. So,
I started liking
Mhm.
olives on Christine's 20th birthday when we went to
What?
this restaurant in Berkeley. called Hudson. And so yeah, we went there for Christine's, was it, I think it was her 20th
I
birthday.
think so.
But yeah, they had like an olive tapenade with their bread basket. And so that was the first time I enjoyed olives. And then it unlocked that side of my taste buds.
Yeah. So maybe you can do like a stinky tofu
Oh.
tapenade, and then that'll be like your
Yeah.
gateway.
Maybe it needs to be like in a small, yeah, like a thin
Megan's like
layer
plugging her nose
above
right
like
now.
a mound of rice.
I'm like
Yeah.
literally gonna cover my nose. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was ear cha. Cheers.
I'm hungry.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so for Icha, the question is, can you share, it's not a question. Can you share a food memory that is really special to you?
I have one, but I'm like kind of embarrassed. Not embarrassed, but like all I've been talking about is eating like shitty frozen food, and they're also all like Mexican adjacent, like rice and beans, burritos. But when I was a kid, I was in like third grade, and it was my mom's birthday, and she made miyeokguk, which is seaweed soup. You know, you're supposed to have it on your birthday in Korean tradition. So my mom had made miyeokguk, and then I was like in the kitchen, and like I was very quiet. I didn't make any noise, so she didn't see me. And then as she turned with the bowl of soup that she was taking to the table, it like spilled on my chest. And then it was like, I was like, then we went to the emergency room. It all was only like on my chest, not even like, it was like barely on my neck, like not on my face, all on my chest. And then they like wrapped me up like with bandages. And I like had to go to like a science fair that day or something at school. But anyway, to like, you know, make me feel better, my dad got me an enchilada from Taco Bell. And then that became my like, oh, if I'm sick or like if I'm just like not feeling, whether it was like physically or whatever, like the best, like my dad would get me an enchilada.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh my God, that is so sweet.
Yeah, and like if anyone doesn't know what an enchilada is, it used to be on the menu, went off the menu. Now it's like back because fans voted for it to come back. But it's just like a beef and bean and like onion burrito, and then it's covered in enchilada sauce. And then yeah, it just like comes in like a small little platter. But yeah, they like brought it back recently. I think it was like last year, and I was like, oh, enchilada's back, and I like had to get it as soon as they had it back from Taco Bell.
Did it taste the same?
Love that. Love the
It just hits.
consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they keep it on the menu forever after hearing what it means to you.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. I have like an obvious one
Why is it obvious?
because it's like,
Okay, should we try to guess? Because it's obvious.
yeah, try to.
I know. I'm like,
You can try, but it's like the one that like comes. That's like the first one that comes to mind.
Is it like some cooking from like your grandma or something?
Yeah.
No, is it David Chang?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait, really? Oh.
Yeah. Because it's like the question is like, what's a food memory that's special to you? And so it's like going back to like traditions, like Koreans have miyeokguk on their birthday. And then I think this is for like most Korean families, but we make mandu like during the holidays for New Year's, right? So that we can make dokbanduguk, which is rice cake and dumpling soup. So I remember when I was younger, we would all go to my grandma and aunt's house in Bakersfield, California, which is like central California. Like all of our families from LA would drive there. And then we would have like the whole day dedicated to making the dumpling mandu filling and then like filling it together as a family. Like all the women, all the men, all the kids, like we would all just make dumplings together. And that was like our activity. And it would be like in the kitchen, in the backyard, in the living room. It was like in the dining room. It was like everybody was making dumplings. So I think that's like a special memory to me in terms of like the traditions that I grew up with and like the sense of the people who were in the room. And we don't like do that anymore. We just do it with our immediate families. So I would say that's like a very special childhood food memory. Yeah.
Yeah, and like your family's all there.
Yeah.
And you're like a
Mandu
kid.
time's
And
always
everyone's making fun of each other's like mandu skills and like
Oh yeah. Oh, when did you guys graduate from like the easy like hat mandu to the pleated mandu?
What's the hat mandu?
Oh.
The hat one is like where you just like fold it and you don't crease it, and then you just like put the two ends together and it's like a little round
So
thing.
the thing is, I think like every family has like a different way of folding dumplings based off of
true.
where they came from. We never did the hat mandu, and then we would sometimes do the pleats, but my grandma would make it in a way where you just fold it over and you just press down on the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you
Our
guys?
family was like that too. We didn't do the fancy pleat. We either did the fold half over and then crimp the sides, and then we would hat mandu, or we would leave it just flat. But I remember growing up, like my dad used to be the best at like mandu making. Like his was always like really beautiful, and like we would always joke because I think there's like a Korean like proverb or something that says like if you make really nice mandus, then like your daughters will be like beautiful or something. So I would always like walk around and be like,
Beautiful
my
Megan.
dad, like, my dad makes the best mandu.
The best
That's
mandu
why
in
I
all the
look like
land.
this.
Those mandu making thing like days are really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Megan, what about
It's
you?
really nice. Mine's kind of like it's not necessarily like a food kind of a memory, but it's like just like alliums in general. You know, allium, like the species, it's like or it's is it a genus? Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
a genus.
Uh-huh.
But basically like all like garlic, onion, chives, like green onion. What are the other ones? Ramps, like all these other different veggies are like in the allium family or the allium genus. And like my grandma and grandpa were both like it's like if the recipe calls for 5 garlic cloves, it's like 5 entire heads of garlic go in.
Yeah.
So like they're just like really allium forward people. And so like anytime I pick out like a certain type of allium at the grocery store, like it just like really reminds me of High Money. Oh, and then I also got
Aw.
like it's upside down, but it's a garlic. It's an abstract
So cute.
garlic
Tattoo.
on my arm because it's like such a core memory. Garlic breath forever.
I remember there was one time I made hummus in college. Like I just made it in our like NutriBullet, and I put so much garlic in there because I too love my garlic. And I think I got a stomach ache. Like I literally felt like I had garlic like scent coming from my
Oozing.
pores. Yeah, from my skin. I don't know if Christine remembers that or
Yeah,
like
I
blocked
do.
it out of her memory.
I can still smell it. It was like so raw
Yeah.
too. It wasn't cooked
it
garlic.
was like
It was raw
really
garlic.
Right.
raw, a
That's
lot of
right.
garlic just mixed in there with the chickpeas and all of that.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, so I learned my
Damn, that makes me
lesson.
want hummus right now.
Yeah, but there is such thing as too much garlic.
You reached the
You might
limit.
think there isn't. Yeah, I flirted with the limit there.
Especially when it like goes in raw.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was the mistake.
Oh yeah.
I just walked in. Yeah, I walked into that one.
Just raw dog the garlic. I was like 20 years old. I didn't know any better.
Okay, so the next question in Icha is, do you have a favorite recipe that you would like to share with the group?
What is this?
I am your teacher. It's like, okay, let me start over.
Oh wait,
Jesus
I
Christ.
have an idea. I have an idea. What if I'm
Okay.
like never mind.
What?
I was gonna
Do
try
it.
to like incorporate it with like
Yes,
how
go.
you use garlic.
Oh yeah, that's
and
a good
stuff.
one. So it's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
like
I couldn't think
if
of
you
how
have like
to
a
incorporate
favorite,
it.
if you have like a favorite garlic memory, do you have like a favorite garlic recipe?
Mm.
Hmm.
Or
Well, I feel
all
like
of your recipes are
garlic-
probably garlic recipes,
I was,
right?
yeah, I
A
was gonna
garlic forward
say.
recipe or one that like really accentuates. Or it's like you can help Christina find the right garlic recipe, one that has cooked
Yes.
garlic.
Oh.
Yes, where I won't hurt my
Well,
stomach.
something that's really good in terms of like alliums, like putting in just like a ton of stuff and then like boiling it is like pusam. So pusam is like pork belly and you just boil it, in water and all these other things, and then you just cut it and serve it. But basically, like the posam kind of like recipe that my grandma and like my mom uses is like you just take, you know, those big long hunks of pork belly and you just put it in water. You cover it in water and you put in like a bunch of different things like green onion, a whole onion, like cut in half, like a ton of garlic, ginger. And then we put some brown sugar and like instant coffee, like a little bit of instant
Oh.
coffee. And then like maybe a heaping tablespoon of like miso, and then you like just let it go on the stove for like an hour, and then you kind of serve it with just like an abundance of fresh like veggies like butter lettuce or like red lettuce. I like doing like radicchio, endive, and a bunch
Perilla.
of different herbs.
TG.
Yeah,
Genni.
perilla.
Mhm.
Bunch of different herbs like genni. You can do like cilantro, mint, basil, like all of that stuff. And I think it looks, when you have like all these different herbs and stuff, it obviously tastes good, but it also like looks really impressive because like you just have this like big bowl of veggies. And then like kind of all the side things that go with it. Like you can make samjang, you can
Some raw
have like
garlic,
pickled.
but in
Yeah,
moderation.
Thin
exactly.
paper.
Thinly
Yeah.
Because
sliced.
most of because most of the garlic is going to be cooked in right in the
Mhm.
posam.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can have like thinly, very very thinly sliced like raw garlic,
Mm-hmm.
and then like other like fermented pickly bits that you can like put in it, and then you just like take a wrap, you take all your herbs, you take the meat, samjang, like
Mm.
pickled bits, and you just so
Mm.
like that's like a nice one that has both cooked and raw
Mm-hmm.
garlic.
Mm.
That sounds so good.
Yum.
That's the yummy one. Yeah. Does anyone else have a garlic forward or just any recipe? I feel like with Christine, you can just we can link
Yeah, go to
we can link the
dearsaturdays.com
recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
and see all of Christine's great recipes.
So, favorite recipes? Like I've developed many recipes for my blog,
Yeah.
Dear Saturdays, but then two that I will consistently make is one that's like a chicken drumsticks that are um, cooked in like a soy broth, a soy sauce broth
Oh,
with
I've made
so
like
this
good.
before.
vegetable,
So
like
good.
root
So
vegetables. It's
good.
very hearty. You can make it in the wintertime. It's very easy too. And it's one that reminds me
Mm.
of the way that my mom used to cook this dish. So it's called a takjim. So we will link this in the description. People actually like really like it. It's been like published in like
Yeah.
magazines. So it's a good recipe. It's very handy. It's consistent. It's reliable. And then the other one, which is fun for this season, is Bake Sale Betty's fried chicken sandwiches and strawberry shortcake. And so I've made this for you guys when we went to Mont Rainier in Seattle. But I also like to make
Mm-hmm.
it during the summertime for my friends. I also like to make it whenever I go on trips because it's just so fun to eat. It's like a fried chicken sandwich with like a brioche bun, like a toasted brioche bun. And there's this really acidic, vibrant
Ugh,
slaw
so
with like
good.
Oh, the best kind
jalapenos
of slaw.
and very
Yeah,
sliced
that's
or very thinly sliced red onions. And there's cabbage. It's
mhm.
really good. And then after you serve that, you can have this like sweet ending with crunchy but also like buttery strawberry shortcake with whipped cream and slightly macerated
Oh.
strawberries.
Strawberries.
So those are all on the blog, but those are like the two recipes that like I consistently, it's the two recipes that I like to reference and also use every single year. It's both Korean and
Mm-hmm.
also American.
So
So
good.
that's
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, the
Very
takjim
good.
is
Oh,
super easy.
Super
I
easy.
love that
yeah.
recipe. I think that what I make the most is kimchi jjigae, probably,
Mhm.
just because it's
Mm.
like it's one I like literally don't have to think about. And I use my cousin's recipe, and she like toasts the gochugaru, or like the red pepper flakes, and gochujang or red pepper paste, like in the she like heats that up first and sets it aside, kind of toasts it, and that in the pot, and then she puts anchovy like canned anchovies into the recipe and like mash it up. So that's kind of taking it from like Italian cooking where you like use it for like pasta and that kind of thing. And then and then you like add your onions, add your garlic, add your kimchi, mix it all in. You add back in the gochujang and gochugaru and it brings like a nice color.
Yum.
You add your broth that you were already making with your dried other fish ingredients. Add some kimchi juice. I like to do tuna. I also like spam, but
Mm.
I prefer tuna.
Yeah.
I think because it's easier for me. Because when I do spam, I like to also cook the spam before I put it into the or like it's already you don't have to cook it, but I like to crisp it before I put it into the kimchi jjigae. So it's just another step.
Mm.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
tofu. But if
kimchi
Christine's
jjigae.
coming over, the tofu will be on the
Yeah.
side because she can't have tofu.
So considerate.
So
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then
Oh,
I
kimchi
also
jjigae.
I love making oyemuchim because it's really easy, which is just like
Oh yeah,
quick
that's
pickled
so good.
cucumber, like Korean style. That also has a lot of garlic.
Uh-huh.
And then
The chador.
the other kind of the other kind of banchan I like to make is hobakjeon, which is like
Oh,
fried like
so
zucchini
good.
patties with like you do like flour and egg. That was always my job to make when my family would do chesa.
Oh, cute.
Chesa is like a
Yeah.
Korean, so many like Korean terms out there.
I know.
Chesa is like, it's kind of like if you think about Dia de los Muertos, where you have like the people's photos and you lay out food. It's like that. You do that for your ancestors on like either their birthday or the anniversary of when they passed away. And so there's certain traditional food that you make for chesa. And if we were making some kind of chon and it included hobakjeon, that was always like my job to
Oh,
fry those. So
now I want hobakjeon. Something that you just reminded me of was there's also this like one pasta that I like to make that's like good for summer because you don't really have to like slave over on the stove, but it has like kind of Korean elements. Well, I guess it's like also I think the Japanese um the Japanese have like a version of it, but it's like when you go to Korean market and they have like the salted roe, like it's called myeongnanjak, and it's in like it's like in the sack.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen those?
Yeah.
It's like really salty.
Mm.
So like you're like, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Christina, I don't know if she's gonna love this, but actually this is like pretty, it's like not as fishy and it's just like really like savory. So basically you just make your pasta and as your pasta's going, you like prepare all the other ingredients and in like a big bowl, you just take the eggs out of the sack. And like with the back of your knife, you like take it out and you just have this like kind of clump of fish roe. Christina like wants to die. And then you just mix in with like really good like olive oil, like hella pepper, like freshly cracked pepper. I like doing like thinly sliced green onion, maybe lemon and salt, or maybe some lemon and then some salt to taste. And then when your pasta is done and it's still really hot, instead of just draining your pasta out into a colander, you just like drain it kind of, or you pick it up and directly put it into like that bowl with the roe, and it kind of like cooks in the heat and like it emulsifies with the oil and it just turns into this like
Umami,
amazing
creaminess.
umami, creaminess like without any cream. And I feel like it feels like impressive. Like I feel like if you made it for someone, they would think like, holy shit, like what is this? And it's just like salted roe from the supermarket, bitch. Like that's just all it
Nice.
is.
That
Christina's
sounds so
trying to like it.
like
Mm.
Well, I'll have to make it for you
Yeah,
as like
make
a
it for
side
me.
or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and then you'll have to judge if
Yes, it's
you
more
can
of a
take it.
mental thing. It's not like uni is a taste thing, but
Yeah.
the other shellfish is like a mental thing. Yeah. So I can grow to like certain dishes that
Yeah.
have those ingredients. Yeah.
I remember Christina saying something really funny when we were younger, and she said like the reason why I don't, or like one of the reasons why I don't like shellfish is because they're kind of like the spiders of the sea, right?
Cockroaches.
Or the
They're bugs.
It's the
cockroaches.
They have
cockroaches. Oh,
exoskeletons. And then I
God.
watched, did you guys watch Castaway? Like that old Tom
Yeah.
Hanks movie?
Yeah.
You know, and I watched that in very formative years because it came out in like the 90s or something. And then there's a scene where he's like trying to survive on that island. He finally like catches a crab, right? And he's so excited. And he's like, oh my God. And he like rips it open. And then it's just like guts fall out because it's not cooked. And it's just like, that is so disgusting. Like, that's what would happen to a bug if you were to squish the bug. Yes.
Oh my God.
So
Okay, note to
that's
self, don't
yes.
don't show our future children Cast Away.
Passed away.
It will traumatize
Because they'll be
them.
like, oh, okay. But I mean, but then to be fair, he did end up cooking the crab, like the next crab he caught, and then he enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Anyways, that's Christy. That's like, is that like where it came from? Like the trauma of Castaway, and
um,
then
I think my family just also didn't. I didn't grow up eating a lot of shellfish.
Mhm.
Like because we wouldn't go out to like eat crab or anything. We mostly, yeah, we didn't really eat it a lot. So I think I just didn't grow up around it.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I also just like, I think out of all the shellfish, shrimp is my least favorite because it's the most like not cohesive in texture once you bite into it, if that makes sense. It like crumbles into like smaller pieces versus like being like a chewy meat, like a crab meat would even be. Yeah, I'm weird. Like now your faces are like, uh-huh.
It's like,
Okay.
depends.
I mean, more crab and shrimp
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
it's great for
No
it's great for you
problem.
too when we travel because I'm like, you guys
Yeah.
have it all.
Oh my God, that like sparked like a core memory where you were saying that like your family didn't eat crab a lot, but my family would have like other families come over and we'd like buy crab and we'd eat it together. And so one time my parents invited this family over. It was like the mom, the dad, and then the son. And so the parents ate at the parents' table, and then we ate at the kitchen dining table, the kids. And it was me, my sister, and then my brothers. It was me, my sister, my brothers, and then the son of the guests. We had crab. We were sitting and eating the crabs, and then my sister decided to get kind of like flirtatious, and she like chucked the like innards, like the
Carcass?
like
Oh, the
the
innards.
poopy part of the crab at the guy, and then he chucked it back at her like more. So they're like throwing crab juices at each other, and it was like soaking into my sister was wearing this like
Ew.
long sleeve Abercrombie shirt, and it was like soaking into her shirt. So it was like pasted onto her body, and she had this like huge reaction to crab, and ever since I
She's allergic
I
or
think she's just I think she's fine with it now, but for a while she couldn't eat crab because she thought she was allergic.
oh my
Maybe she still
God.
is, but she ate it that day.
It's
She was
just
Or
it
fine.
was
was
just
actually just the Abercrombie shirt.
She's
or I was gonna
allergic
say it was just like hives from embarrassment or something.
from wearing Abercrombie. Yeah, so that's like one of my core memories with crab. I was just like watching this happen. I was like, you guys are gonna get in so much trouble.
Damn, now I want crab. Oh my gosh.
Redondo Beach.
So good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
seriously.
do like crab meat. I just don't want to like use
Oh.
pliers to like get like a little tiny little ounce of meat.
Oh, so what I'm hearing is you just want somebody to open it all up and then have a big
I also
hunk
don't want to
of
see that. I don't
crab.
want to see the carcass. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I like it like a sugarfish, the like crab meat roll,
Mhm.
the
Oh,
hand
the
Yeah.
roll.
hand
You know what I
roll.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't mind it. I like crab
Okay.
meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. We could really
Ooh,
just like
sorry. Anyway,
go
yeah.
on and on.
What? Okay, wait. I have another
Mhm.
question. What is your take on picky eaters? Like, you know how there are kids who are younger
Mm.
and they're like, I refuse. I can only eat French fries, chicken nuggets, pizza, and pasta with butter, and I won't eat anything else. You know, like those kids.
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
like evolves into like other weird behaviors down the line. Like, what is your take on picky eating?
As
I
a kid,
mean,
Or
I
like
don't know.
people
And
in
I've
yeah,
general,
never I've
not
never
as kids, but like
yeah.
people who then embody that type of behavior into adulthood. Like, what is your take on picky eater? Or what is your take on picky eaters?
I mean, I think it's fine. Because, like, I mean, for me, I'm thinking it's fine because, like, no one around me is a picky eater. So,
Uh-huh.
like, it's fine. But if I had to deal with the picky eater, then I think maybe it'd be, like, more frustrating. I do feel like as long as you're open to, like, trying it at
Yeah.
least, and, like, if you don't
Mhm.
like it, you don't like it. But, like, if you're just not open to it and you just say, "Oh, I've never tried it, but I know I'm not gonna like it." Like that to me is like there's
Yeah.
something more
Mhm.
there psychologically that maybe you need to unpack. But like other than that, like I mean, whatever. Like do you, I guess.
Yeah. And I think it's like as long as I mean it's also it's like if they're being picky and then they are not like giving options or they're not like
Mhm.
finding their own options
Mm,
at a restaurant
Mhm.
you go to. Like like for example, when I used to be plant-based, like I would still go to any restaurant people went to and then I would just figure out my own thing that I would
Mhm.
order.
right,
Or if it was a group
right.
setting, like then, you know, then I'll it's fine. So I think as long as you're not like inconveniencing other people, then
Mhm.
like I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if it's like I don't want that, no, I don't want that. Oh no, I don't eat that. That's really annoying.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Mhm.
think like I'll understand for the most part for kids, though like you have to like kind of push
yes.
certain food options on kids because they can't always have it the way that they want. But there was like this one memory that came to mind where one of my friends dated this guy who couldn't eat sauces. And then
What?
Sauces.
he couldn't eat like peanut butter, he couldn't eat pizza, he couldn't
Like he
Wait,
couldn't have tomato
but was
sauce.
he allergic
no, he
or
just
was
didn't
he
like
like it
the
was a
wetness. He didn't like
preference?
the wetness of sauce. There are these like encounters or like as I like meet people in the world, I hear these stories about people with really interesting food preference quirks. And one time this girl was like I had to dump him because he couldn't eat sauces.
Yeah,
That's
that would be a little
that's a red
much.
flag. That's a he's a 10,
Yeah.
but he doesn't eat sauces. You're being
Yeah,
banned.
like what?
Can you imagine?
He's a 1 because he
He
can't eat
doesn't eat sauces.
sauces.
Yeah,
He's a
exactly.
zero at that. Like she
Mm,
couldn't.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, cheers to your friend for dumping that
Yeah.
one.
Dude, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
To kick off samcha, we're just gonna dive like
Dive.
real deep all of a sudden. Just tell me about your relationship with food. I feel like a
Mm,
therapist.
Ooh.
yeah. So I haven't fully thought about this one, but it's definitely changed over the years. Like when I was younger, I always liked food, but it was like the first thing that I would cut out if like, oh, I felt like I needed to lose some weight or something. I would be like, oh, I'll just skip this meal or like I'll skip that meal. Like I wouldn't do it healthfully, you know? So that was kind of like my relationship when I was younger. But I think like food was always like such a big pillar in my life. Like, I mean, maybe it is for a lot of people, but I mean, I think also for Koreans, because like food is a love language for the entire nation.
Hmm.
Like it's such a big thing. So I think that's kind of how it was. And then I think it's changed a bit. Like I think I'm now more learning and leaning more into like what macros are and
Mm.
like really thinking about like to Christine what you were saying, maybe a little bit more balance, not necessarily in the flavors, but also in like the importance of like what those macros mean and how it like reacts to my body.
Mhm.
And so like obviously we have this whole other episode about like you know all the health stuff that maybe I've been going through. So like
Hmm.
the last few months it's definitely just like slowly understanding what my body is like and then how my body reacts to certain foods and then kind of adjusting maybe my meals or the way that I cook to like fit that a little bit better. And to me that's maybe a more healthier way to take it instead of just saying, oh, like I love food and so like I eat everything at all times, you know, all the time. It's just maybe more like really understanding the nutrients behind like the things that I put in my mouth. And again, the key word here is like try because
Hmm.
I'll still, you know, drink a bottle of wine with Christine and
A
Olivia.
bottle.
A bottle
Per person.
We had three. Yeah, we had
Oh my
3 bottles that night.
gosh.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just generally like kind of understanding like exactly what my body needs and like kind of listening to it and understanding that a little bit more than it just being like mealtime or like, oh, here's food and I'm eating it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of how it's changed over time.
Are you looking at Sean?
Yeah, because what is this guy doing? He's eating pistachios with chopsticks, and then he dropped the pistachio, and he's looking for the pistachio. He's like, right, like, I just cannot. Oh, there it is. He saw it. Oh, it dropped on the floor, and there he was picking it right back up and putting it into his mouth.
When he picked it up from the floor, did he pick it up with the chopsticks?
No,
Or with
I
his
wish.
with his
That would have been
toes?
funny.
I wish.
And then it would have
Yeah,
like
that would-
dropped again.
I know.
Yeah.
That would have been so funny.
Oh my God.
Well, that
What
sounds
about
like
you guys.
it's like it's really interesting because you like I thought that like our relationship with food is more like consistent. It's like it's it doesn't change as much. But then when I actually reflect on like the ways that I ate growing up versus like the ways that I eat now, it's so different. Like growing up,
Mm.
we like never ate out. We ate at home and we would
Oh.
maybe go to like a Korean barbecue restaurant or like an Italian restaurant on somebody's birthday or a special occasion. After I like went to college, I started to like eat out more, and then once I started working, I ate out all the time. That's like basically how we eat today. It's like we eat out or we order food. And then now I just think that I am kind of exhausted from like the overabundance of like all these options that we have. Especially when I was in Korea, I was bombarded with like good food here, good food there. And there was so much choice that I kind of just shut down and said, like, what is like the essentials that I need to like actually eat, or like what are the essentials that I need for like nutrition? And then kind of leave it at that and then build off of that kind of principle. So I think like in my 30s versus my 20s, like the ways that like I'm eating, the behaviors and the habits are definitely like polar opposites. In my 20s, I would just eat a bunch of things, like whatever was delicious, whatever my friends were eating. But now it's like I feel a little bit more in control with like what I eat for breakfast, what I eat for lunch, and what I eat for dinner. And it's a change for sure. So if you're like in your 20s and you're like, I'm eating out of control, and then in your 30s, you're like a little bit more mindful. That's one takeaway that I have. You just have too much. And then now it's like, I don't need all of that. I just want what's essential.
It's kind of how it feels for me too. I think part of it is also I just feel like really busy all the time with like work, and then like, you know, got a got a husband that I spend time with, and got our house that we have, our apartment that we got to maintain, and gotta like train for my marathon and do YouTube and like all that stuff. And so I think also like in my 20s, it was always like, ooh, like what's my next meal gonna be? It's gonna be like bomb, it's gonna be like delicious. And now it's like I just need some like protein to like make sure I don't faint as I like do the next thing. And so yeah, so I do think it has become more of a like just using food as fuel versus I still enjoy food so much, and I still enjoy like going out to new places to eat and like enjoying that with friends and like getting to try lots of things together and traveling and trying food. But yeah, on a day-to-day basis, it's like I've I've kind of let go of needing every single meal to be like really, you know,
Mhm.
complex in flavor and all of that. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, I feel growth in like, oh, I'm able to like, you know, just change these different
Adjust.
parts of how I live my life in order to like stay balanced in everything else, you know, and not like beat myself up over like not making like the most tasty, like best meals all the time.
I'm also thinking about it's kind of related. It's like when I was growing up and like into my 20s, I kind of ate like how like my parents used to eat, right? Like how like my parents eat up until now. Like my mom is very like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like breakfast at 8, lunch at noon, and dinner at 6. And so like even if you're not hungry, like you eat because like that's just when you eat.
That was me
Um
too.
yeah, it's like at lunch or something, if I'm not that hungry, my mom's still like, "Oh, but it's lunchtime. Like you have to eat some. We got to eat." And it's
Mm-hmm.
like not to say that that was necessarily like wrong or bad, but it definitely wasn't like intuitive,
Mhm.
right? So now it's like I like intermittent fast, and I have like a certain eating window that I try not to break unless again I'm drinking like an entire bottle of wine at a local tapas
Yeah.
place. But
Mm-hmm.
like I normally have like a smaller eating window. Like I try to eat between like 12 and 8. I try to have like whole foods. I try to listen to my body. If I'm full, I stop. If I'm hungry, I eat, like whatever. So it's kind of like this breaking away kind
Mhm.
of like what you grew up with, and how yeah, like how you were raised, I guess, is probably like our 30s is like all about that.
That's so
God,
true. Which is
time.
why it felt so weird for me um to like start to eat in that way.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah, the other thing for me is like when I was eating mostly plant-based, like it started out because I was like having stomach aches all the time and I was tired, and then it
Mm,
like on YouTube at the time, like vegan plant-based eating like
yeah.
was all the rage. And so I like fell into that like YouTube rabbit hole, found like lots of creators that I liked, and then when I started eating that way, like I felt amazing, but then it got to be like too like it became too obsessive where it was like not
Yeah.
about like eating in that way anymore, but it was like, oh no, like this avocado toast came out with like a tiny bit of cheese on it. And it's like, oh, well, now I can't eat that. But it's like, you can
Mm.
have like, a tiny little thing of cheese. So that was also something like I had to kind of like break out of. And I think I have this tendency, like I've got my Duolingo streak going on. It's like 105 days and I'm like, I can't break it. And so I got into that
Yeah, yeah,
mentality
yeah.
with my food.
Mm.
So yeah, that's something that can be unhealthy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now I'm like trying to be, you know, a little more balanced about it, but I'm
Yeah.
still eating a lot of frozen burritos, but it's because I'm really busy during the day.
And that's okay because your body doesn't hate you for it. Your
Yeah.
body loves that. It's like there's
Yes, it
nutrition.
it needs
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it needs
Oh,
something. Yeah. Also, like another thing is that like in your 20s, your metabolism's still like kind of going. And
Oh my
then
gosh, yeah.
later down the
It's
line
fire.
mhm.
in your like late 20s, it's like it catches up with you. And then you're like, why am I like this? Like, why can I not fit into my pants anymore? So
It's so frustrating.
then it's like navigating into like this stage of our lives where like, okay, how do we repair this like relationship with food in like a healthier way that works for our bodies? Yeah.
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 I think especially with
Wow.
marathon training, I am trying to see food as fuel more.
Hmm.
Um
Mm,
and it is I again, like I have really bad habits with like not cooking a lot and eating out a lot, but it's like a mentality I'm trying to like adopt more strongly,
Hmm.
because it's like, yeah, you need the food to fuel your body so that you can do like these workouts and like these other, go about your day. So yeah, food is fuel. It's very important.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, and
sooner
it's
you
just
learn
so
that,
good.
yeah.
And it's so good. Yeah. If it tastes good, has a bunch of alliums in it.
Good balance between
I'm
raw and cooked.
drooling.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. Oh,
There's so much
goodness.
to say about
Well,
food.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like a whole other episode we can do about metabolism just in its
Oh my
Seriously.
God.
Yeah.
own episode.
Yeah. I think we covered off samcha, but
Ooh.
in true
Oh,
samcha
yeah.
fashion, I'm going to throw a wild card question.
Surprise, Christine question.
What is your death row meal?
Oof.
Back
This
to
is
the morbidity.
hard. I know. It wouldn't be an episode without one of us talking about death in
Hmm.
some
Oh,
way.
it's seriously so hard.
Yeah. There's so many
Mm.
directions you can go
Yeah,
into. Oh my
seriously.
It's like what's
gosh.
meaningful, what's nostalgic, what's like delicious, what
Yeah.
is
I think I would want I maybe this is because I had Korean barbecue recently, but I think it just has all the right elements. So some some
Yeah.
chador, like good quality chador, which is like thinly sliced brisket. You know, fresh white rice, 된장찌개. Sorry, Christine, she can't have 된장찌개. And then like the salad, like you know the Korean like
Yes.
spicy, like nice crispy salad. Um, Even if it was just those four things, like that you've got the
Mm.
protein, got like the starch, the like the nice acidity, you got like the fermented tastiness of the 된장찌개. I think that
Yeah.
would be mine. And kimchi, of course, on the
Mm.
side.
Ugh, like the perfect ripeness of
Yeah,
kimchi,
and
like
then it's
that
like I
you
would
like.
yeah, and then like I would feel like nice and satisfied and full, but I also wouldn't like I don't also don't want to feel like I don't want to eat Taco
Nasty.
Bell like right before I die either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like I want to feel
Even though
yeah.
like Taco Bell is good
I love
and it's
Taco
like you
Bell.
want your yeah.
Shout out
Yeah.
Enchilito, but like you know, but yeah, I think I want to feel like, but I also don't want to eat just a salad, you know. So
Yeah.
that would be my choice.
I feel like mine is kind of similar. Like, I think it would either be, it would be, I think my number one would probably be like some sort of like Korean, like very homey Korean food. Like, it would be like a kimchi jjigae, like a bubbling thing of kimchi jjigae with like
Oh,
fresh
or sundubu. Fuck, I forgot
rice.
sundubu.
Oh yeah, like sundubu, and then just like our like my favorite panchans, you know,
Yeah.
and like different like pickled things and like salted like seafood things. You're
Yeah.
like ill, and like just things like that. Like that would be like so good. But then I can also imagine myself wanting like a really like spicy like papaya, like a funky papaya salad with like you know, like spring rolls and like oh, and like like just like an amazing like juicy shrimp like pad thai or something and like a curry. Oh my god, it's just yeah,
All of it.
all
A
of it, all
big
of it.
old
Do you really think
feast.
these like death row chefs could manage our requests though? Like I feel like they would bring
I
out a
mean, can they
shitty
just
된장찌개 and
well,
then I'd be
would
like
they could they
upset.
just deliver it? Like it's like you don't have to make it.
Yeah,
Or is
maybe.
there like an
I don't
actual
know. I don't know
I don't
like
know.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't
It's,
know.
I've never been, so I don't know.
We should ask. We should do some
Yeah.
research. Oh my god. I think I would, as my death row meal, because like I'm gonna die anyways, I would just eat all of the soy that I couldn't eat in my lifetime and then just
Oh
kill
yeah.
myself
Oh, so
with
you can
soy.
have the
Ooh.
된장찌개
Yeah.
and sundubu.
Yeah. So instead of them
Yeah.
killing me, I'll kill myself.
Yeah, it'll be like, jokes on you.
I'd
Good
have
idea.
tofu. I'd have like soy milk. I'd
Uh-huh.
have like the peach jjigae, which is like a
Oh my
soup with
Oh,
god.
like
At
with
Chodangor
ground,
in New
PG
yeah,
York. Oh my god, so
ground
Oh
good.
my
tofu.
god.
I'd
Mm-hmm.
have kongguksu, which is
Oh my
like
Oh
noodles that you
yeah,
eat during the
콩국수.
summertime with
yeah.
like this soy milk kind of
Yeah.
soup thing.
Full
Broth.
broth
Um,
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have
Ugh.
fried like pan fried tofu with like the soy sauce and like the green onion on top.
Yeah.
I would go out with
Yeah.
I would go out with a tofu bang. Yeah.
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 That's a
And
good idea.
된장찌개,
That's such
yeah,
a good
all of
idea.
that.
Yeah, because Christine, you weren't born or you developed this allergy
Yeah.
later in life, so
Uh-huh.
it's like you know how good all that food is.
That's
It's so
true.
sad.
Oh my god.
So it's been 10 years since I developed this allergy. And then on my
Yeah.
way to death, I'll just have
I guess if
tofu.
you ever, you know, if you're ever like on your deathbed and you're like, I know I'm gonna die soon anyway, like if even if it's not death row,
Yeah.
guess that's when you could have your soy.
Yeah.
I'd also do the calculation though. Like this is a little crazy, but like how are you guys going to kill me? Like cuz if I have soy, I'll like choke, right? And that's like
Yeah.
one way to die and it's not like that painful, right?
I think
But
it's
then
lethal injection.
okay. So
Yeah.
that probably is worse than choking and dying, right? Like you just
I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like the most humane.
I think you
Really?
like fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay because
Yeah.
like you will have had your tofu, you'll like start to choke, but then they'll like inject you and then you
Uh-huh.
won't have to
Boom.
suffer
Yeah.
the choking.
That sounds like a great
Exactly.
death. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we've planned your death, we've planned your funeral.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
And on that note,
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Find us on all the
All the
Mhm.
platforms on Instagram,
Let us
Thingamabobs.
on
know
TikTok.
what your death row meal will be.
And you
Yeah.
guys still haven't sent us any messages, so I'm going to call you out on that right now. Open up your app.
Wait, but what if they did?
Okay.
I know.
Because this is episode 8.
I'm talking about you who didn't send a message. I'm
Yeah,
proud of you.
You know who you are.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for sending the message, but for people who haven't, this is for you. Open up your Instagram app, look up Samcha Podcast, send us a message about your favorite foods, things that you don't like to eat. We will talk about it here. Just talk to us. That's all we are asking for.
We'll have a whole episode just of what people have sent us.
Yes.
So,
Oh, that's a good one.
have fun.
Yeah,
with
ask
it.
all the questions. Talk to us.
The crazier, the better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.